We are literally in the middle of nowhere today, Las Rocas, Venezuela. Hello everybody, I'm Andy Mill, and after 30 years of tournament fishing in the Florida Keys, there's one thing that really stands out to me, and that is good fishermen can catch fish. But the great fisherman can catch the fish that doesn't want to be caught. Why? Because he knows how to feed the fish. On today's Masterclass, we're going to be talking about just that. Feeding the fish is about understanding a couple of things. One is the fish that you're fishing for. If you're fishing for a bonita or an albacore or blue marlin or a bonefish, you have to understand the fish and what that fish is looking for, the bait. Your bait too can help work for you. For instance, tarpon fishing, this marabou feather, you can see the breeze and how it moves those fibers. This material is saying, eat me. It's showing that it's alive without me doing much at all. Other fish like these bonefish here in Las Rocas, they may be feeding on glass minnows. So your fly selection here too is absolutely imperative. But not only just tying on the right fly, how am I going to make it move? At this point, let's talk about some of the specifics of how these flies work and how you want to make them move in the water. When we talk about feeding the fish, it's not only understanding the dynamics and body language of the fish, but the fly itself and how it's supposed to be in the water. This is a prime example of a great bonefish fly. It's a big crab, and crabs scoot along the bottom like this. And sometimes that big bonefish will come up. If you jump it too hard, it scares them. Some fish like a little pop if they're not nearly as sensitive as some of the big downtown bonefish in Isla Morada. Other flies, like this tarpon toad, really works well because that marabou undulates, it breathes, it demands that fish to eat it. This is a remarkable fabric to use. A lot of people, when they make their cast and present the fly to the fish, and they want to make a long cast, watch this, boom, they let go of the fly line. Sure, it's pretty, but it's imperative to always have line control, always be connected with your fly line. If you're fishing for a specific fish that might be in a blitz, like a bonita or false albacore, and they're busting bait or tuna, you have to be connected to that fly line. When you make that fly delivery, you're right here. When I let that fly line slide out of my hands, I'm connected to that fly. I can slide it forward. If I get a bite, I can set the hook. Also too, most people, when they want to set the hook, they instantly go to the rod tip here. When you go to the rod tip to set the hook, all you're doing is bending that rod tip. That hook cannot penetrate. The only way, not one of the ways, the only way to set the hook when you're saltwater fly fishing is through a strip strike. When you feel that fish bite your hook, you stay tight with the stripping hand right here. You separate your hands. You can do the scissor set where the rod goes back, the butt of the rod is against your waist, and when you get tight, this stripping hand is going to pull that hook right into that fish's face. It is absolutely a must. All right, remember these 3 tips for this 2-minute masterclass. To feed the fish, one, you have to understand the fish you're fishing for and what he wants. Therefore, you need to put the fly in the right place. Secondly, allow the fish to close the gap between itself and the fly without stopping the fly. And thirdly, to be truly successful, to set the hook, you need to have a strip strike. Otherwise, you're probably out of the game.